Hey guys, welcome back to Blonde with a Pod. Today I'm going to be talking about girlhood, and I watched this podcast that I'm not exactly sure what her name is, but I've actually watched a few of her videos, and the podcast YouTube channel is literally called This Is Girlhood. So, since watching one of her videos, which was also about girlhood, I was like, let me try this really quick. So, anyways, I hope your week has been great. I am getting into routine. I went to church today. One of the things that I said I was grateful for while serving in kids ministry was that I think I'm becoming a morning person. I also changed up like something with my medication as well. So maybe that could be the reason why, but I actually feel my body starting to wake up at the same time each day, and I know that that makes a difference. And like freaking like that guy Brian Johnson, the guy who's trying to live forever, is like sleep is so important. It's like the pedestal of health. If you're not getting enough sleep, you're not going to feel like doing anything else that is beneficial towards your health. And I'm like, okay, I knew this, but he's like, you need to go to bed the same time each day, wake up the same time each day, basically get your body fully into a routine where it knows when it's going to fall asleep and it knows when you're going to wake up. So basically it can just get used to that routine. I think with this a recent life change, which is that I got a new job, I think that I'm fully like waking up at the same time each day. I'm feeling a lot happier. I'm also getting like a good amount of sunlight each day with the weather, and my new office is just more sunlit. Everything is probably going great for um getting my circadian rhythm to like work properly or whatever. But yeah, I thought I'd just update that. I don't even know where I was going with this, but back to the YouTube channel I was watching, with her talking about girlhood and like what it meant to her and kind of like the people who influenced her perception of girlhood. I thought it'd be interesting to talk about girlhood post graduation, or like early 20s, mid 20s, late 20s, whatever. Like girlhood, girl friendships, and also socialization, which is something else that I wanted to tie in with the service today from church. Was they really called us out by saying like screens are literally ruining our relationships. Screens are getting in the way of just like getting your screens are getting in the way of delayed gratification, I guess, which is like actually showing up to a plan, getting ready, getting dressed, stuff that feels so like, I don't know, the last thing I want to do when I'm tired and I've had a full day is literally go out, meet someone out for food or drinks and put in that effort. But at the end of the day, like, that is so much healthier for our body and brains than a screen where we're getting instant gratification. We feel like we're getting some sort of satisfaction by watching other people on screens, and like almost like a fake socialization in a way, because I know when I'm on TikTok or YouTube, I feel like a sense of like, okay, I know what's happening in the world, sort of. I don't feel like I'm getting FOMO because I'm literally watching other people's lives, and that satisfies something in me that almost is in a way like a parasocial weird friendship. I can't explain it, but when they talked about that today in service, I was like, okay, like this is really calling me out. I can't remember what verses they were using. It was like Corinthians, but basically saying that we should be like enjoying our company with other people. We should be inviting people over to our homes. And apparently all of that has decreased in the past like 20 or 30 years or 50 years. I'm not sure. Again, like I feel like I'm the last person who should be talking about this, because anytime there's any research involved, I don't know. I think my brain doesn't hold on to like any statistics. But what I gathered was that we need to be putting the screens down and actually focusing on real relationships and friendships. And also, that in a way is like serving the Lord, that is enriching your life. All of it's tied together to like helping other people and not getting like instant gratification from things that aren't connected to the outside world and like nature. Um, so that was just, I loved that they spoke about that in church, because I thought it was different. I thought it was interesting, and I liked that it actually tied together with what the Bible says. But getting back to friendships and girlhood, I don't know if you've noticed this, post-grad girlies, but it is so hard to make friends after you've graduated, especially when you're living in your hometown. You basically have to restructure everything that you've known to be true in that town because you're working there, you have a full-time job, you're not going to school anymore, you're no longer there for like a winter break, a summer break. It's like, no, you're there for whatever the next couple years, however long you want to stay in the place you grew up. And making friends looked so different to me, especially since I had to actually go show up to stuff within the community, stuff that I cared about and was passionate about. And I almost wasn't going for the purpose of making friends. I genuinely was going to make myself happier. And that whole journey of like me reconnecting with my faith, which I haven't even talked about on the podcast, but really opened my eyes to how many like-minded people there are out there that I share so many similarities with. And I'm not just talking like, oh, we go to the same church, we go to the same church group, we do Bible study together, whatever. I'm talking like friendships, relationships, family dynamics, all of these similarities. That's like, wow, I would have never met you if I didn't force myself to show up to this one thing after work that I didn't want to go to, in the moment. And then I was able to build these amazing girl friendships that also were built on a shared interest for something as well. When I'm trying to think of like girlhood and how I define that, I think of my sisters, but like specifically things that it's just like for the girls. Like my younger sister, the middle sister, Gemma, she would always come into my room every morning. I don't think she skipped a single morning without doing this. Comes into my room, goes, "What do you think of this outfit? What do you think of my outfit?" I am barely awake, barely holding on to a single thread of consciousness at this point because it's early, we're getting ready for school, and I've literally just awoken. I give her this thumbs up of approval or maybe say something. Usually I just always told her that it looked good because I could barely be awake in this moment. That is such like to me the definition of girlhood. I don't know, I guess it's kind of hard because girlhood is like everything that is on like the female side experience, and I don't know, like boyhood, is that even a thing? Do you guys talk about that? I'm not sure, but that to me seems like that would be girlhood. Something to me that also is like girlhood in my head is hanging out in each other's bedrooms and laying on each other's beds and like either scrolling on your phone or talking to each other, looking at the ceiling, having sleepovers, inviting someone into that space that's like your private space. I feel like is very like sacred. And yeah, no boys are coming into my room unless it's my boyfriend, but like yeah, that's not something I would ever do with my male friends. So to me, girlhood, question mark, I don't know. And recently it's like I feel like once you graduate, it's kind of weird to be like, let's chill in your bedroom, let's talk about our weeks, let's go through your closet, let's look at what's, like I love examining people's little trinkets and stuff. And I don't know if if I wasn't living at home, I don't know if I would just like invite myself over to someone's apartment and be like, "Do you want to just like rot in bed?" To the people who are living like in an apartment or their own space, let me know if you guys do that because I just feel like a nice bedroom hangout session is healing to me. I can't explain it. Obviously you could do that in your own apartment. I just don't know like how normalized it is. Slash, I do feel like a lot of people, their definition of hanging out is going out. Like hanging out equals getting drinks. Hanging out equals going to the bars. Hanging out is getting drunk over the weekend. And I don't think there's like anything necessarily wrong with that. But is that girlhood? No, I don't think so. I mean, I guess if like you're getting ready together, you're showing each other your outfits, you're trying to make goals for the night, like, oh my God, I'm not going to text him, whatever. In a way, that's girlhood. But I do think just going out itself doesn't give me like girlhood. To me, it's very like, okay, I'm sorry if I've said girlhood 100 times, but that is supposed to feel like a safe space very comforting, very like a shared experience of like talking about things in a very soft way, a very endearing, understanding way, which is just something that I've come to treasure so much since being 23, 22, 23, whatever, is talking about things in a way that is like very warm, that there's no ounce of which is like something that is in girl friendships. And I know that's like females feel like they compare, not females, sorry, the female dynamics can be competitive, right? Because the world has taught us to compare each other. The world is always comparing girls and women to each other, so it's just like natural that we're going to do that. So when you start getting like a job, post graduation plans, comparing your journey to others, I feel like it could be especially hard when it's your related to girl friendships. Like your girlfriends are reaching different points of life and different phases of life that you haven't yet, or your girlfriends are dating or seeing guys, and it just makes you question yourself or like your own worthiness. I think that's where things can go downhill post grad, is like college and high school, you're still finding your identity. And I think after college is when you're supposed to declare, like, this is who I am, these are my morals, this is my identity. And having female friendships while doing that can get competitive. So I think going back to the state of girlhood, of being literally young girls, not like actually being a young girl, but having that mentality of like, okay, we're just girls. Like, let's do something silly. Let's do something fun. Let's just go on a walk together, go on a drive. Nothing has to be that serious, that deep, because at the end of the day, like, that was the most fun thing ever, was doing sleepovers, doing little like fashion shows, showing each other what we have in our closets, going through like things in each other's rooms. I'm trying to think of like other things that watching each other like do watch watching your friend do their makeup or talk about a boy that they've like decided they've hated, and you're like, wait, I hate them too. Like, I just think we need to get back to that. And I hope that someone watching this is inspired to get with a girlfriend or look out for like girls that they meet, because I know like not everyone just has a girl best friend that they can go to be like, let's have a sleepover, let's actually do this, let's have like a wine night, whatever. So maybe just like looking out for those types of people, now that if you think that this is something you would want, because I can tell you in the last like couple months, the times that I've hung out with my girlfriends has been amazing. Like, almost reminds me of high school. And I don't know if that's because I'm living at home, so I'm like, okay, just hanging out with anyone here feels like I'm back in high school. But I went on like a long drive with my friend. We were driving around the lake. We were literally touching grass, sat outside for at least like 20 minutes talking, got to watch the sunset. Um, One of my friends yesterday, the Haley who was on the podcast, did my hair. Like, I got to hang out in her bedroom, met her sister. All these things that like I just feel like maybe because you're an adult you wouldn't do. Like, just show up and be like, okay, I don't know some of these people, but let's just all do something together. Like, I went to my friend's Airbnb with a bunch of girls I didn't know, and was I nervous at first? Yes, but also they're just people. Like, just because you're 23 doesn't mean you can stop making friends, or doesn't mean you should like be like, okay, everyone in my life, like, that's the only people that are going to stay in my life. Like, no, like, socializing is something that you still have to do every day, especially if you want to gain friends that are more aligned with your current state. If you want to keep the old friends and their friends that are growing too, like, that's amazing, grow with them. But also, if you've had friends that are just in a different phase of life and have a different mindset than you about things, I don't know, like different styles of like, what is it? Different love languages. Like, they always like to make plans. Like, every time you guys hang out, a plan is being made. I know like the type A people, that's their thing, which I totally love to do. But then also sometimes you want a couple friends that just like to relax and chill. I feel like you're allowed to be a little picky with the people that you're surrounding yourself surrounding yourself with. And that is not going to be something that you can just do by sitting down being like, I don't have to go socialize, I don't have to interact with anyone, I'm just going to keep the same friends that I've always been satisfied with and comfortable with. Like, okay, but then don't you want to explore like things that you love to do with friends that you might have not ever done before? Or don't you want to just kind of like break out of the cycle and try something new? Hopefully that made sense, but I feel like there is such value in meeting new people, trying different things, trying out also different styles of like hanging out. Does everything have to be let's go get coffee and catch up? And I think I saw a TikTok on this that sometimes our friendships just literally turn into word vomiting everything that happened in the span of time that we last saw each other, between the last time we saw each other and now. So it's like you're word vomiting everything that just happened, they're word vomiting everything that just happened. Are you guys even like connecting with each other? Or are you just basically saying what has happened in your life and then giving that to them? And I guess there's like some satisfaction of like getting it all out, but you could do that with like anyone. I don't know if that's special to a friendship necessarily. And I don't know if you can tell, I'm very like all over the place with my thoughts on this because I don't have one particular like conclusion from all of this. And also, I'm not perfect. My friendships are not perfect. Like, my relationship is not perfect. There, I'm not saying I'm like the Mel Robbins of friendships, you know, like I am trying to improve every day on being a better friend and also figuring out what friendship means to me and what girlhood means to me, and like if I am uplifting other girls, because again, that is something that you have to actively try to do. You can't uplift your girlfriends by just sitting on the sidelines being like, oh, that's so annoying, he did this and this, like he's such an annoying person. Like, okay, that's the bare minimum. I feel like actively uplifting your girlfriends is checking in on them, recommending them like advice that genuinely you think would help them, or giving them advice if they're at a place that you've been before, like mentally, like they're going through something, you're like, okay, I can actually tell you this and this worked for me, or, you know, let me listen to you talk and let's have a phone call and just like sit and talk about it. Or actually, do you need space? Like sometimes what a person needs is space, and knowing them well enough to give them space is such a beautiful thing. Um, and then uplifting someone could also look like getting them out of the house if they're needing to just get a break from being home. Also, trying something new together. I feel like whether it's like going to a new food spot or going to the flea market, maybe you want to look for like clothes and they can help you, and it just becomes like this bonding experience. I think is so important. And I think you need to allow the friendships in your life to change and grow just as much as you're growing. Like, it's okay if you guys aren't doing the same things that you would do maybe like a year ago. Maybe it looks a little different where you guys are more connecting over the phone, like phone calls, instead of actively meeting up, because maybe you're just at that point of life where it's like, okay, I really got to focus on work. I really got to focus on just like my life and myself, but also let me let you in a little bit by catching up over the phone. Like, I love a good phone call. I love just being able to lay in my bed, stare at the ceiling, clean my entire room while talking to a friend for like an hour. Like, why do I get the most done when I'm talking to someone on the phone? I just leave it on the corner of my bed and start cleaning or folding the laundry, doing everything that I've been holding off for the entire day or week. And I'm like, okay, this is my moment to shine. And little do they know, little does my friend know, that they just helped me so much by just sitting on the phone and talking to me and telling me like something, a little tidbit about their life, whatever. There, maybe it's like somewhat something at work. They could be telling me anything and I'm just like happy to listen, you know? But those are some things that I have been on my mind recently, and um that I've been so appreciative of, like these amazing girls that have come into my life, who I've also been learning like is it okay to have friends who are younger than you? I don't know why that's just like a stigma of mine. Maybe it's because I'm like the oldest. I'm like, oh my god, like my sisters are younger. Like, I want older friends. I want an older sister. But once you get out of college and you start meeting people just like randomly, or it's not like through school, so you guys like aren't the same year. You're meeting people like more like at church or like at different events or through different people. It's like, okay, they could be any age, like it's not like they're gonna be like your grade, like your year. And I've gotten used to that where I'm like, these girls are so mature, and it's crazy how they're like 3 years younger than me, 2 years than me, which isn't crazy, but like, I don't know. I was so conditioned to be like, I just want friends my age or older because I want like someone to look up to. Like, I've never had an older sister. But I still look up to like my female friends no matter what their age is because of their life experiences. I just There's so much wisdom there, and really like we learn through our experiences. Like, yes, age does indicate like a lot of things, like if you've gone through certain stages of life, maybe like experience in friendships or relationships, but once you reach that point where it's like, okay, we are at the same level of maturity, like real sees real, it's like, okay, this is a genuine real person who is very mature, and also we like have gone through very similar things. I don't know, it's like a crazy bond that I have learned to really appreciate. These friendships that have come into my life the past couple months, and like some of them are coworkers, some of them are friends, I just can't believe that this has even happened, that I've made so many amazing friendships after leaving school. I'm like in a place where it's 10 times harder to meet people. I'm at home, I'm at work, like that's pretty much it. I'm at church, but like the fact that you can meet someone and then they introduce you to other people, and then there's all these connections, and people are so welcoming and nice. Like, that's something Haley and I talked about in the last episode, is trust people. Like, even if someone turns you down at the first interaction or like the first time that you try opening yourself up to them, okay, that just saved you so much time. And there's so much like value in just like extending yourself out to other people. Like, part of the reason why I've made such quick friends is they're the type of people to text me and be like, hey, do you want to do this? Hey, last time we hung out, you were talking about this thing, and like I heard that there's something coming up this weekend that I feel like you would really like. Like, you're not going to go anywhere. You're not going to move forward with friendships if it's like not 50-50. Like, obviously they need to be trying to put in the effort too. And also like socialization after college, it's just so, it is what you make of it. It really is. Like, if you want that going out girl group, you'll find that group if you want to continue like the going out lifestyle. But if you want to like kind of hone in on your emotional intelligence and like this sounds like I'm literally dissing someone. I'm not, but like it is what you make of it, queen. I don't know what else to say. um and it's like, I don't know, I just feel like people mature at different rates, people grow at different rates, and it is just a weird energy when it's like you're at a different stage of life than someone else is, or you view things in a different way, and it's like, okay, the friendship has turned into something that like it didn't used to be. Like, we used to be on the same page, and now it's like we're on different pages, but you still you still have to value like the history of the friendship, I feel like, because I feel like you can't just like cut people off like that. I don't know, that's like something that I've seen people talk about, is dropping people just like that if they do you wrong once, or if you feel like the energy is not there anymore. I think do what you think is right. If there is a long, rich history of friendship and support, and maybe you guys are just on different pages and you think about life like a little differently, maybe you have different like ideologies about life, spirituality. I don't even know what I'm saying, but like, do what you think is best. If it's causing you lack of peace, then obviously something needs to be done. Maybe a conversation needs to be had. But if you're still able to maintain your peace, like, I don't know, like, then it's just like friendship is different. But that's the thing about growing. That's sometimes you outgrow people, sometimes people outgrow you. It's like back and forth, but you have to also like keep in mind that everyone's rate of growing is different. Um I feel like I wanted to circle back on something. And also, this is reaching 30 minutes. Oh, if you told me a year ago, though, that I would be doing some of the things like these activities with new friends, I'm talking like friends I made in the past like 6 months, I'd be like, whoa, like, where did she get all this social energy from? Like, okay, social butterfly, which it's like crazy. Some friendships it's just like this. Like you guys have that energy, you click so well. And I love that being in a different environment after college pushes you to be out of your comfort zone to find people who might not look like your college friends, might not look like your high school friends. But it's so fun to know that you can there's still that like inner child that just wants at the end of the day to have like a girlhood moment. um and the fact that you can experience that at any age. There's literally elderly women going out for coffee like giggling about the guy that did them wrong like 10 years ago. Like I see old women, they're just so content. They're just like, okay, yeah, let's go look at the flowers, let's go walk through a garden. um they're just at that stage where it's like, okay, the superficial things don't matter, success doesn't matter, comparing yourself to another girl does not matter. Like at the end of the day, we're all gonna grow old, we're all gonna get wrinkly and gray, and your girls are your girls. Like we have experiences that will last us throughout our life. Like I said, men doing us wrong will be an experience that won't change whether you're 20 or 80. A man can still do us wrong, right? Or having an experience with annoying people. Like that's a universal shared generational experience. Like having that friendship where you can just go back to being just a girl, bringing out your inner child is so important. And it took me these newer friendships to realize that that is such a valued experience that I need and like that I appreciate and I want to be in every single one of my friendships. And I don't think enough people in our early 20s, mid 20s are seeking that out enough. I think everything is not everything. I think so much time spent socializing is spent going out, spending money on drinks, talking to men, trying to bring guys home, trying to like compare, like one up each other, like, oh my god, he did this for me. Like, we woke up in the morning and like he said he wanted to like date me, whatever. Like, okay, okay. Like, we all have our moments. Like, obviously, like, I've been like that before, but like, is that girlhood? Is girlhood like dying? I think it's literally dying in our early and mid 20s. I think we need to like put the drinks away for a second. Like, yes, I love a little cocktail moment and going out to get drinks, but why do we have to do that as soon as we turn 22, 23? Like, why do we have to like immediately be like, okay, happy hour, like meet me for this for drinks, meet me at this place for drinks, whatever. Let's go hang out with this group of guys. Like, oh, my Tinder date also is bringing his friend. Okay, like you do you, but also maybe decenter men. Like, I feel like this going out, socializing, mid 20, early 20 like era is in some way could be to serve the male gaze. I don't know, like again, like it's either to serve the male gaze or get really really drunk. So I don't know. Like I think that's helpful maybe every once in a while where you need to let loose and you're like, I just need to relax. I just need to get a couple drinks. I can afford to like drop some money, like spend some bucks on a drink and actually enjoy myself, enjoy food, enjoy like going out to a really packed bar, feeling that like energy from people, whatever. But I don't think that's like the essence of a good female friendship is like, let's get all dressed up, let's do this, like let's go to this bar, let's then bar hop, blah 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 blah. Like I get the part of like the thrill of the night, like getting ready together, doing your makeup. I think those things are so cool, but like also you could do that to go somewhere else, right? Like maybe you guys want to watch a play together, like go to a musical, you know, you'll still do like the getting ready stuff together. It doesn't like all have to be for the purpose of going out and all for the sake of meeting your hinge match out, like meeting meeting the guy that you told like last week, like meet me at this bar, like at this time, whatever, like texting your work crush, whatever. Like I don't know, I think there's that female friendships are so dimensional that limiting it to just going out, getting drinks, waking up hungover, and then having a debrief sesh, like I think that's like disrespectful to female friendships, dare I say. I don't know, like if also college me was like so, yeah, was not even thinking this way, probably didn't even like think of the term girlhood because I was so focused on just like going out, getting dressed up, like blah blah blah. So honestly, this is a message to my younger self. If anything, I would just love to tell my college self and pre-college self, like, girl, like you're gonna find so many amazing friendships that aren't based around going out or talking about men or debriefing about men or calling each other about men. Like, oh my goodness, like I understand high school me was so into the guy drama, so into the boy drama. Like I wanted to hear all of my girls like guy crushes and their stories and like whatever. But it gets so repetitive after a while. Like once you realize men are the same, it's like okay, same story, different name, same story, like different person. Um I don't know. Like yeah. Like I'm always down to give advice. I'm always down to like extend a listening ear, but that's not the essence of a female friendship either. So and I think that those two things were so important to me at some point in my friendships and in my life, and now I'm sort of like deconstructing that. That is unfortunately all the time I have for. So thank you for listening about this little like impromptu ramble. I don't know if any of that like was cohesive at all, but I think I actually talked about a lot of things that have been on my mind and that I've just been like thinking about, but not really expressing or talking to anyone else about. So I'm so glad that I could talk to you guys about this. I will see you in the next episode, which will hopefully be out next week. Bye.